interesting case study. Okay, I'll also read it with you. Julie is a 10 GPA student in class 10th with a strong interest in science. She wants to pursue medicine as a career. Her parents, wanting to give her the best possible chance of securing a medical seat, make her opt out of school and write the 12th class exams from open school. Um, Point to be noted, point number one, that Julie moves out of regular school, and it's kind of a a dummy school where she will only get attendance, and she will go to a coaching institute and pursue her studies there. So she joins a coaching institute and starts preparing for NEET. Over the period of 2 years, she studies quite hard, but couldn't get a good rank in NEET. Um, Another point to be noted here, this is my observation when I met her. I'll tell you when I met her for the first time. But by this time, she had already appeared for NEET and so on. Um, she gave it her all. I would use the word called tapasya. She did tapasya for 2 years, but her rank was not enough to get her admission in a private college, in a government college. Just to give you an idea, for example, say 640 was the score that was required. She scored around 590, 600, which is a very good score in NEET. Okay, 600 is not a bad score. It's a very good score. However, it wasn't enough to get her to a government medical college. She did make it to one of the well-known ones as far as private medical seat is concerned. She got about 85% in her boards. Okay, when she got this score, she decided to drop the idea of pursuing medicine altogether. So she said, I'm done with medicine. We have no idea why and what made her do that. Another point to be noted, then somehow she got in touch with a senior student from her school. They have one or two conversations. She gets to know about this program, which the senior is pursuing from biotech, in biotech at a particular university. And she also takes admission. She loved that conversation and she takes admission. And she starts pursuing biotech program. After a period of about 7-8 months, she realizes she's not cut out for the program. She didn't like that. So she quits and she comes back home. Now we are staring at a gap year, a drop year. While she's sitting at home, her parents are frantically trying to get her to do something. And somehow her father, Julie's father, speaks to one of his good friends, and his daughter is pursuing law from a private university in and around Delhi. They both connect, and then these girls talk to each other, and Julie now decides to look at law as a career opportunity. Now, so in the conversation, my name comes up that I coached her. I coached the friend's daughter. So therefore, now Julie and her father have come to meet me. Now that's where my introduction comes in. Now we are sitting and discussing what to do. And now the four things that are the mandate that's given to me. First is, Parikshit, we've already decided Julie wants to pursue law. How to crack the law entrance test. Number one. Second, she is interested in psychology. How can she pursue a program in that field? What are the possibilities? So we've got law, we've also got psychology. Now, because she's very good, aptitude-wise, she's really good in English. So they say, what's the scope of media and journalism? Any other recommendation that the coach deems fit, we are happy doing the same. As usual, I first put her through an assessment. We look at her personality, aptitude, orientation, interest, everything, and then we get the 5 best fit matches. I won't remember 5, but I clearly remember medicine was number one. I mean, when I say number one, meaning medicine was one, allied medicine another, um, social sciences field was third. I think there was law. Okay. So these were the 4 that I remember: law, medicine, allied medicine, and maybe social sciences. Okay. Yes, team, you could remove this, please. So that's where we were vis-a-vis the assessment. Then we looked at a lot of other angles, and finally we still couldn't, um, you know, we couldn't come to. I mean, there were a lot of discussions, but it was like Julie was still struggling to say which one is my calling, and understandable. Julie is 18 plus. That's understandable. So what did we do? The second thing that we did was we got her to speak to few professionals who had just, who were in the process of doing those programs or had just started their practice. Number one, we made her speak to a couple of people who had done their bachelor's and master's in psychology. We also got her to speak to, she was already in talks with this friend of hers who was pursuing law program. We also got her to speak to a lawyer with about 3 to 5 years of practice. We got these conversations going. But just to let you know, let me ask you a question first. Let me involve you here. If Julie tells you, I have 2 options. I have prepared for medicine for 2 years. I'm not interested in medicine anymore. But I have 2 options. One is to pursue law. The second is to pursue psychology. And you are her coach. What will be your suggestion and why? Yes, Gargi, I could get that. Absolutely. What would be your suggestion? Right? Totally with you. Totally. Psychology. Yes. As a coach, I also felt the same. Thank you. Thank you so much. As a coach, I felt psychology was the area that she should look at. Why? Because number one, she's pursued medicine for 2 years. Clinical psychology is one possibility. There were a lot of other things that could come in. And she was interested in psychology. A law, post her psychology, we could have brought in law also, if there was a requirement. Next, law was a 5-year program. I wasn't sure that she walked into biotech, she quit. Medicine, she prepared for 2 years, she's quit. And it was a riskier option walking into medicine, law, 5-year program. So we were not sure. I felt the same, that she should look at psychology. However, as a coach, I can't influence her decision. I can't tell her, listen, put my experience to test. I've done this millions of times. I can tell you, you're more suited for psychology. So, as a coach, you can't do that. You can definitely air your views. You can look at the pros and cons, but you can't influence. Why? Because here there is I can't take that call for her. I have to be absolutely neutral. She has to take that call. That heavy duty work has to be done by her, heavy lifting. Yes, you could be absolutely right, Parikshit, at 18 or 19. Maybe she did not have the knowledge or the expertise to choose, but ultimately, for right or wrong, it has to be her call. So we did the pros and cons of each career. Yes, and we talked about it. But my first question to her was, is there a possibility of going back to medicine? Because I have still not understood why did you quit on medicine? If you got a 600 this year, maybe you could do a look at a drop, and maybe next year you get a 630, 640. You know, you're a gifted student. And more than gift, discipline, consistency, resilience, perseverance. It's like she's somebody you could ask her to sit and she'll not move for like hours and hours. The concentration, I mean, a legendary concentration. This kid could study 18 hours a day without breaking her back. That's how, she was so glued in as far as books is concerned. Yes. So therefore, I asked her, is there a possibility? As a coach, I'm just checking, is there a possibility? She said, after those discussions, she said, no, there is no way I'm going back. So for me, it was a big tick. We are not to discuss medicine. It's over. Great. So let's look at psychology. Let's look at law. And of course, the next best option was, because she had 84.5% in her board exams, Delhi University was out of question. So most of the good institutions, they were looking at 96, 97%. So at 84.5, we couldn't have got anything as far as Delhi University is concerned. And all the others were through entrance. So we said, let's prepare for the entrance. So we started looking at preparing her for the entrance exam. And while we were looking at psychology, she was also ready for law. So I think she wrote about 3 or 4 law exams, three, um, 3, 4 psychology, and 2, 3, I think, media entrance exams. What she didn't tell me, while because I was helping her prepare for the entrance exams, and what she didn't tell me that along with the uh, application forms for media, psychology, and law, she also filled up a couple of management exams. So I think altogether, Julie would have written about, say, 10 to 13 entrance exams. Usually in the good old days, post-COVID, especially 21, 22, things have changed. Many of these exams have been preponed. But in the good old days, all the entrance exams used to happen in the period of April, May, June. So she wrote these exams. Do you want to try what could be the possible result? What could be the possible result? About 10 to 13 exams. Kanak, that's a very good question. Why sometimes students usually they don't find their own way? Kanak, your question, please understand, at 17, 18 or 16, it's too much to ask a question. What are you planning to do in life? What kind of a career? If you request me, if you ask me what should it be, I would say this question needs to be removed. The question needs to be replaced with another question. Imagine at 16, 17, you're basically asking someone, so tell me about your career. Where do you see yourself 10 years, 20 years from now? What career? I mean, career, poor people, they would not even know which course to pursue. We are talking about careers. A career is a long game. So I think the question needs to be replaced with, listen, you got 5 or 6 subjects. as far as your 11th and 12th is concerned. Okay, you got 5 or 6 subjects. Very good. 10th, you had more, and then finally you chose few in 11th and 12th. What do you want to study out of these subjects? Which subject do you want to study after 12th? Or a combination of subjects? That's it. That should be the question. Limited to a course. Career is a big thing. So anyway, so she wrote the exams. Now she cracked most of the exams. Can anyone tell me why? Why can she just think? Why would she crack most of these exams? I'm waiting. Absolutely. Rachit, right. If someone can prepare for 12, 16, 18 hours a day and write an exam which is taken by close to 18 to 19 lakh people, what would these basic exams be like? An LSAT, CLAT, ALET, where there'll be students in the range of 10 to 20,000. Maybe maximum CLAT will have 50,000 aspirants. And what does she have to prepare? English, which is her core area. Reasoning, she's very good. Grammar, reading comprehension, critical reasoning, it's right up her alley. So what is it that needs to be brought in? GK? And someone who can just pick up the book, she'll say, Parikshit, tell me what to read. That's it. Tell me what to read and I will do it. How do you function with that kind of a human being who is self-motivated, who's resilient, my God, tons of patience, consistency, discipline? What do? They'll do it on their own, with or without guidance. So she wrote the exams and she cracked most of them. Of course, the difference was few places her rank was not good enough to make it to the topmost institutions. So she decided, well, during the course of these months and after writing these exams, I'm very clear. Management, I'm done. I don't want to look at it. So's media, mass media, communication, journalism, I'm not interested. So management and all this is gone. I am still interested in law and psychology. Psychology, we made it to a well-known institution, and she decided that let's deposit money and secure a seat. So she was to fly to Bangalore. We secured a seat for her. Deposit was done. By this time, an event happened. She had written this law exam, and her percentile in that law exam was, I think, 96 or 97 percentile. And she was because she had literally, been one of the toppers in that exam. So this institute gave her 50% scholarship because of her performance. So her father told me, Parikshit, great news. She was keen to look at law, and this is a very expensive program. The institute has decided to give her 50% scholarship. Wow, congratulations. But by this time, she's already secured a seat, psychology seat. We are just about 7 days or 10 days away before she has to fly to start her psychology program. Maybe 7 days. I get another call. Hi, Parikshit, how are you? Sorry. So the thing was 7 days or a few days left, whatever. Hi, Parikshit. How are you? Good news. I wanted to share some good news with you. Tell me, what happened? You remember that institution where we got a 50% scholarship? Yes. Well, I shared with them that Shelley's not interested, Julie's not interested. Julie's going to pursue psychology. And they were like, no way, we can't let such a brilliant girl go. Therefore, wait, give us some time. They came back to me with a full ride, 100% scholarship. The entire course fee is waived off completely. And the only thing that we have to pay is residential facility. That's all we need to pay for. Wow, congratulations. Two questions. So, Parikshit, what do you think she should do? If you were in her place, what would you do? I so wanted to tell him, number one, I wouldn't want to be in Julie's place. No way. I wouldn't want to be in her shoes, number one. Number two, whatever she wants to do. I asked him, what would you do if you were in Julie's place? I would choose law. 100% choose law. Okay. And why? What's your reason for doing the same? Well, if I do psychology after bachelor's, I'll again be at the crossroad to figure out what to do for my master. So this is a professional program. Straight away, I'll get my license from the bar and I'll practice. And whether I work with a law firm or I practice on my own, I'm a professional. Whereas after bachelor's, I'm stuck. Okay, great. Thank you. So that was my last conversation with Julie. I so wished that she should opt for psychology. She ended up choosing law. So psychology seat was gone. She went to this university and she started pursuing law. That was my last interaction. And then after a year or so, when I'd forgotten about this, I got to know through this common friend that you remember Julie who came to you. Yeah. What happened? She has topped the university first year law program. Out of about 500 kids, she topped the first year. And okay, so great, very good. Can you tell me why Julie would top or would secure a first rank in the first year? Are you surprised? No, not at all. Because when Julie would walk into the university and she sees 500 people around her, now they are looking at infrastructure. They're looking at what kind of crowd we pulled in. Wow, cafeteria, amazing dorms, tons of facilities, and so many other things. We're going to have a ball. We're going to have a lot of fun and study. And Julie will ask them, excuse me, where is the library? She'll go look at the library and she'll sit there like this. Oh my God, millions and millions of books, so much to do. And she's found her home. What do you do with that kind of a student? Yes. Is there a twist to the story? The twist comes now. That's why it's not one of my, it's my Actually, it's my second or third favorite case study. So I just got to know that Julie has done this in the first year. And story over. Last year, I get a call that uh, someone wants to speak to you. Then I connect with him. He says, "Hi, do you remember? I'm Julie's father." Yes. How are you? Well, great. And how's Julie? Julie's good. Julie's in her fourth year. She's about to move to the final year. Julie wanted to speak to you. Okay. All well? Yeah, all well. When do we set up a call? Call was set up and Julie's on the phone now. Hi, Julie. How are you? Hi, sir. It's been such a long time. Yes, I know. Must be around 4 years or something. Yes, yes. I'm just about to wrap up my fourth year and move to fifth. Good. Very good. How's it going? Going good, sir. Um, I am in the top 5 percentile of the batch. I'm doing well. Okay, great. So tell me, how can I be of any help, Julie? Well, sir, I wanted to talk to you about GMAT. Mm-hmm. Okay. Uh, yeah, tell me, what do you want to know about GMAT? So I want to start preparing for GMAT. And I thought you'll be the best person to guide me. No problem. We can do that. But how come GMAT in fourth year? So because fifth year, I'll have a lot of submissions and grand finale. I have this, I have that to do. And therefore, I just thought, let's wrap it up in fourth year itself. Okay, very good. But GMAT, you'll be writing for the business schools. Yes, sir. I want to do an MBA. Okay. But why now? I mean, we haven't even wrapped up the law degree. So I have realized I'm loving the program, but I'm not cut out to do law. No, sir. I will not be pursuing law anymore. Meaning? No, sir. I will do the degree. I'll finish my 5 years and then nothing to do with law, sir. I want to couple it up with an MBA. So what about 5 years of law? No, sir. It's too dry for me, too this for me. I am done, sir. Done with law. So what about placement? I'm not going to be sitting for the placement, sir. I was like, I wanted to ask her two questions. Julie, have you ever asked me about my health, about the condition of my heart? Am I, is my heart stable enough to take such shocks? You suddenly call and you drop a bomb and you don't even ask, Parikshit, are you okay? You've never asked me about my health. This I wanted to ask her. I didn't ask. Okay. Uh, so great. But Julie, why fourth year? I mean, I hope you know about the MBA institutions. Then where do you want to study? So I want to study at London Business School, Wharton, INSEAD, Harvard, Stanford, Kellogg, and so on. Okay. All right. And how did you get to know about this? So, my seniors here, um, who are 1 or 2 years senior to me. And my question, I wanted to ask her another question. Julie, why do you talk to seniors? Number one. And why is it that these seniors find you? You talk to one senior, it was biotech. You talk to another senior, it was law. Now you're talking to more seniors and it's an MBA. By the way, can I ask you another thing, Julie? Yes. Have you looked at the websites of these institutions that you're talking about? No. Do you know that all the MBA top business schools that you're talking about, they don't take freshers? Minimum 3 years to 4 years of work, even more to give yourself the best chance. No, my seniors went straight away. Have you looked at their CVs? No. Have you asked them? Have you looked at their CVs? Have you asked them how many years of work? No, sir. Just because they are doing this, therefore you want to know? Not at all. I'm absolutely clear now. I want to do an MBA. Okay. And then the conversation, I took about 10 minutes to explain to her the process, how WorkX is important, the average age at these phenomenal business institutions. I shared with her that average age in certain institutions will be 27 to 29 years, and you should wrap up your law degree, post which work for a few years. Of course, GMAT will be one consideration, work experience, profile, academics, other areas will all be important before she applies. Okay, I'll check everything and get back to you. Well, this was last year. I haven't heard from Julie. Why I wanted to share this with you is because if Julie comes back to me this year or early next year, then be ready for a sequel, Julie Part 2. And I'm sure it will have more advanced bookings than Pathan or Jawan. But as and when she comes in and I start coaching her, if at all this happens, we are ready for Julie Part 2. Couple of important lessons for me in this case study. Number one, I was always focused on Julie. Maybe to some extent, I missed out the influence that her father had on her career or on the decisions revolving around her career. Maybe at the back end, it was her father. Because I still remember he said, between law and psychology, I will choose law. Second, it couldn't have been Julie to say, Dad, I want to move out of school. I want to go to a dummy school. 100% had to be parents. Julie couldn't take that call in 10th class. Next, Julie made it to a very, very well-known private medical college. Why did she opt out? Yes, definitely the fee would have been about 1.52 CR for her entire medical degree. Was the family financially stable or in that position to take that call? Was it a family's call, Julie's call? I would never know. I never inquired. I thought she was going to Bangalore. That course was also decently priced, but she would have spent few lakhs going to Bangalore. Here, she got a full ride, free ride. So, no idea. So these were lessons for me, that one was father's influence. I never met the mother in all these interactions, and we interacted for close to about 2.5, 3 months. I never heard about her mother. And so financial part, father's influence, all those areas, I just keep thinking. My question to you, on one side, you have a student like Julie, who's gifted, who's disciplined, who's consistent, who just is not sure of what she wants to do. Let's have another side, another student called A, who's very sure of what he or she wants to do. So interest is clear, but is not disciplined, not consistent, heavily distracted, every time makes tall promises, but doesn't fulfill. Who will be easier to coach? And why? Julie And another person who's very clear about what he or she wants to do, but no follow-up. No follow-up, heavily distracted, procrastinates a lot. Who will be easier to coach? Absolutely with you. Completely with you. Julie, not person A. Can you tell me why? Not person A. Why? Why Julie is still easier to coach? Yes, anyone? Why? Okay, okay, great. Absolutely, absolutely. So let's look at a scenario. Scenario A is Julie says, I'm not sure of my interest or of my calling, but let's talk, discuss, let's make a plan. I'll follow through. Now the other guy comes to you, says, okay, great. I know I want to do civil services. I want to crack civil services. Very good. Let's make a plan. You need to do this. A, B, you need to read this, these journals, these magazines. Very good. You've got a great plan. Goes home. You meet him or her next week. What happened? Well, I was caught up. I was here. I was partying hard. I didn't sleep. I tried to do this. No problem. Let me motivate you. You provide external motivation. And then next week again, oh yes, I did some. And then a week later, not great. This. You can keep motivating them, keep making plans for them. Nothing will happen if there is no personal ownership and accountability. I've had these discussions multiple times where people say, Julie will be more difficult. No. Students like Julie will find her calling. If not today, then tomorrow. And all these, a law 5-year will never be waste. This degree or this program or what she learned, it's not going to be wasted. Whether she moves towards management or any other area. Yes, she may not make effective use of it. That's a different story. She may not build on that degree. That's different. But it's not going to be wasted. Negotiation, probing, questioning, observation, drafting, the kind of skills that she would learn will go a long way in supporting her. However, what do you do with students? You keep making plans, keep supporting them, keep doing whatever. If they are not up to it, not ready to take up the challenges, it's almost like, hi, I want to be a footballer, a great footballer. Very good. So what do? I play football. Very nice. Where do you play? I sometimes play with my friends. Otherwise, I am mostly on FIFA 20. Now there's FIFA 24, but let's say FIFA 23 on my PS5. I'm there for hours and hours. I can beat anyone. Come play with me. You'll not be able to beat me. Will that help you become a great footballer? No. So you are very clear about your interest. You're mad about it. But there's no follow-up. There is no aptitude. There is no skill. There is no action towards that goal. Sorry, that goal will not happen on its own. So that's why I'm sharing this with you. A lot of people keep talking about Three Idiots, a movie, Three Idiots, where they say, well, in Three Idiots, he was passionate about photography and his parents wanted him to do engineering. There was a disconnect. You should follow your passion. You should follow your passion. Absolutely follow your passion. But why was he into photography? Was it just liking, passion? No. He was great at photography. The pictures that he clicked were published in wildlife journals or magazines. Why? Because he was so skilled. So interest has to be backed by skill or ability. Otherwise, interest is just interest. So he was so interested in that area, but he also followed through, and had the skill or the aptitude. That's why he was able to maneuver, and also kind of, in that movie, tell his parents, listen, give me a chance to follow. I love it. Uh, okay, I'm just taking up a couple of more questions here. Yes, absolutely. I could not understand why Julie, where she opts for so many courses, it shows that she does not know exactly what she wants. But another person was sure that he wanted in his future, so guidance and follow-up given to him. Absolutely. Gargi, so what happens? Julie is a, a very high aptitude student. She's skilled, she's gifted, she's determined. The only area that she's struggling in is one area I can tell you. She doesn't do her due diligence before jumping into anything. So there is a problem of decision making here. It's not of aptitude. So it's like, hi. So, and of course, fickle minded, yes. Oh my God, gets easily influenced. If she does her own spade work, due diligence before jumping into, or before taking any particular decision, like, see, now she's talking about MBA. She's listening to these stories. People are talking about the great MBA institutions, business schools, and she's like, wow, I can do this. She's not looking at what's the process. She's not doing her self-discovery, introspection, understanding, alignment of interest. She's not doing that. If she does that, result will be much better. So, and then she has a certain, those ideas that, wow, if I do this program, this will happen. And what happens? She walks into that program or course or whatever, and then she suddenly realizes, maybe I thought this will be like this, it'll be like this, but it's nowhere like that. So therefore, I'm not saying that's the correct answer. I'm just saying that's one of the reasons. How to decide the subjects for a student like Julie. So good old days, we used to like the subjects that you really like, take those, or the subjects where you score marks, take those, or what your siblings, friends, and so on, and your parents will tell you, your teachers will tell you, you know what, you do well here. That's one part. Subject assessments can be another. Genuine assessments, like the one we use at Minder, is another. Conversations. For example, I'll give you a cheat code. People think, a lot of students do this. Okay. I'm interested in science, but I don't get chemistry, or I don't get physics, or math is not high up the order. So therefore, let me move to commerce. Okay, great. Very good. Now, when do you write your 10th class board exam? Feb, March. Very good. When does your school actually pick up? Post July. Very good. By when the school says, we'll lock your subjects? Around August. Very good. Now, why don't we do one thing? When we are done with 10th class, let's have a party time. Good, enjoyed, got a good break. Why don't we pick up economics or business studies or accounts for a month or two in 11th class? Look at the subjects. Maybe you can get a tutor to help you with 5 or 6 chapters. Figure out, wow, do you like it? What do you like? What is it that you don't like? Kind of acclimatize yourself for a month or two. Is that possible? Absolutely. And then make an informed choice. But it's like, the problem is that we don't give importance to these things. And it's very simple. If you got 80% plus, choose this. If your percentage is low, we'll automatically send you here. If your percentage even goes further low, we'll send you to this. It's just that it's so arbed. So there is a lot of work that needs to be done. And of course, teachers and schools, they have to, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, Sharina. So there is a lot of work that needs to happen. Thank you so much for being with me, and I'll see you post lunch. Thank you. Thank you. Take care, all of you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.